So here we are looking at the Jones Aviator, and sometimes I mistake myself and call it the flight attendant. Just two boards with airplanes associated with it. So if I screw up there, pardon me. But the Aviator has some pretty cool stuff going on for it. You can see it's got lots of carbon fiber strips through it. It's got a little bit of a different board. It's kind of like a light, snappy Explorer, or maybe a slightly more directional, little more set back Mountain Twin. But it's got some interesting things going for it. It's kind of on the lighter side. You can kind of see it's typical Jones fast base, but you can see there is a really decent camber profile here, where it's very it's got a lot more camber going on underfoot than the than the other boards, but then it kind of tilts up. You can see it kind of tilts up in the sides. It's not full-on camber, but it's just got a little less early rise, and then it's got this kind of taper off to where it makes this nose and tail. You can kind of see it kind of goes like this and starts to get more curved up on the sides, and you can kind of see that on the table. You can see it's not really touching. And in the past I felt that washy. With this particular board I didn't, so maybe they made some little minor tweaks, maybe they didn't, but that's fun. The biggest thing for me that kept me from liking this after comparing it to the Mountain Twin was just how chattery and tough it was underfoot. It just didn't have that stability, but I did love the pop. I loved, it had pretty good spring out of the turn. It wasn't super washy, great edge hold, but I just liked that stable, more damp feel of the Ultra Mountain Twin when I compared it against one another. Also, same kind of thing for the Explorer, even though it's considerably less money than this. But if you want a real light board, it's not guaranteed, because every kind of wood, wood is always different in weight and flex, but in general, it's usually lighter than a Jones Mountain Twin or an Explorer or something like that. So if you if you're leaning towards a lighter board, then you want kind of an all mountain board, here you have it. So now let's talk about the setback on board. Reference stance is pretty wide at 23.6, and they tell you right there. But setting it all the way back is just right for me, which is 22 3/4. And I know it works for a lot of people for this 158. And then you're looking at 21.5 and 17 1/4. So that's 4 1/4 back on board, which is a little more than the Mountain Twin and Ultra Mountain Twin, and almost there with the Explorer, if I remember correctly. I think it's 4.25 or 4.5. They're really close. So that's kind of more, in line with that. But with this extra camber underfoot, compared to some other Jones boards, it might be about even. I was unfortunate enough not to get powder with this board. I chose to spend my one powder day with the Explorer and with the Mind Expander and the Storm Chaser. So didn't really get on that, but it's going to have decent float with that kind of setback on board, and a little bit of that early rise and a little bit of the turned up sides. That kind of combo usually works pretty well. So there you have it. That is the Aviator, and you know, 2019, like it more than I have in years past.